My name is Matty Graham, also known as Matty Talk Fast. I managed to acquire the Stag Head mainly to make it a more community-based pub. It was a beautiful old pub that some architect in 1938 can take all the credit for. It was running down like a lot of pubs. It used to close at 8 o'clock in the evening. There was a core of about maybe like 10 to 12 old school drinkers lived here all their lives and stuff. The old boys, as they're affectionately known, who we take great pride in getting back again. They drink here all the time. Like, we open at 12 o'clock midday, and they come in and they're here during daytime. And they're funny, they're lovely, and they were here long before us. It's their place, not ours, so we're always very respectful to them. But it was that we had to do it up quite a lot just to get health and safety, things like the electrics not being earthed, and little things that you wouldn't notice. But we wanted to restore it to its former glory rather than make it into a gastro pub or jazz it up, because there's a massive market for that, but this is a pub, and that's what it's supposed to be. So. I moved down from Leeds about 12 years ago. I studied at London College of Printing and then worked at St Martin's. I love Hackney to bits. It's a great place. This place has an amazing beer garden, space upstairs, and because of the people that I work with, like, we perform a lot of music and things like that, so I put on gigs for 10 years. So we got rid of the industrial kitchen and made a little stage so people could have a little stage. I didn't believe that. I kind of got bored. I put on gigs and promotion because I genuinely hate promotion. Promoters with a passion. They were there to be seen, to be cool, not actually helping the bands load in and load out. And just remembering that the customers are there to have a good time. The bands try really hard for this. So you've got to be nice to them on the night and stuff. And I don't think if there is a God, he intended the Carling Academy to charge £5 for one can of beer, kick you out after 20 quid a ticket, really moody bouncers, and then that's the end of it. So we kind of wanted to do free gigs, which is why, to our detriment, we pay. Almost every gig here is free, and we get. Because of our contacts in the past, we get big bands that come down and we pay them out of our own pocket. We pay the sound engineer with a full back line. We know what we're doing in terms of music. And because of that, it's now starting to get the reputation as we intended in the first place, that the bigger bands like, yeah, we just want to play there because it's known to be played, and that's what we hope we build on over the years. As long as people are nice, like, I draw the line at very few things. Like, it's a good old-fashioned pub. I've seen people drunk before. If you're nice and you're drunk, that's fine. Like, we've all been there and stuff. If you're racist or homophobic, you've got about 2 seconds till you get barred from me, and that's it. And I've kind of run that pretty hard line with the old boys and the young people, but what's happened is that we've ended up with a load of nice old boys and a load of nice young people, and they all mix together very nicely and get on. One of the main things for us in having a community pub would have been that when you go to the pubs, like, and there's some great pubs. My favourite pub, by the way, in London is the Wenlock Arms. We'll only ever be second best to that in East London. It's a great pub off City Road. I love it. It's good ales and everything. It's fairly priced. Pricing essential, so that's why I like our wine and soda's 50p. Our Coke's a £1. We don't want to deter people. We do free barbecue every Sunday, and there's a couple of students coming here. They never buy a drink and eat burgers, and Ben's like, mate, they're taking the piss. It's like, dude, we've all been poor before, and there's plenty of people buying their food. So that's, in the future they'll remember and they'll come back. But just having somewhere where you can go, somewhere like, say, the George on Commercial, just off Dalston Kingsland, which is a lovely pub, and it's something that you go there, you sit down with your friends, you meet them, and it's very nice, but you don't go and talk to the people on other tables and stuff. Whereas here, people come in, this guy called French Eric, who moved here, he came here first 5 days in London every day, and then it's like, you can go and chat to people, and people end up meeting other people, and you can all kind of mix in and, like, have a nice time and together and stuff. So, kind of more open-minded community. So, because we're very strongly arts-based, we saw the scope upstairs to build and renovate. So we've finished the textile studio, and we're building a screen print studio, and we're going to teach people that have been in prison how to do screen print textiles. And the rest of the time, when they're not booked in, people can use the place for free if they pay for their own stuff. And outside of that, we've got a TV programme going on Channel 4. We've currently got the ex-head commissioner of Channel 5 and Channel 4. And the guy who came to Big Breakfast is representing us for Partisan, which is Michelle Gondry's label. We work quite closely with them. We've got the director called Ollie Evans. They did everybody's music videos from Jackson's to Janet Jackson and Jay-Z. And they love what we're making is, it's basically called The Knocking Shop. It's based upstairs. My friend Zach gets dressed up as Scylla Zach, Scylla Black, but Scylla Zach when we used to do Blind Date on the stage. My friend Joe gets dressed as a robot. And my friend Sarah, we have bands that perform live. We use loads of green screen, edit down Final Cut Pro, and then we have sketches as well. The funny thing is that it's just a bunch of people that do actually know each other, having a good time, having a drink. Well, definitely finance. I mean, I worked for 2 years designing and making furniture for Urban Outfitters, so I had a decent job with a decent wage, but it wasn't anything like what I'd need to start a business. I don't have any kind of savings or parents that could help me out, or a house or anything like that. The biggest problem was getting an unsecured loan. I've never had a credit card in my life. My dad's Scottish, he told me not to do that. So then you go to the bank and you want to get a loan, you've had a good account, maybe you went overdrawn by a fiver once, twice, don't you have an overdraft? And they're like, no, you went overdrawn and you don't have a credit card. It's kind of like, well, I've never been in debt, so I can't borrow money with a decent note. So that was tricky. Luckily, that's where the London Rebuilding Society came in, because they do unsecured loans on the basis of a sound business idea, obviously. Which was great of them, and they were really useful. There was also 2 other investors who I've known for years, who decided that this thing would be a good venture, a good return.
Who were backers, personal backers.
Yeah. Setting all that up, it took a lot of good faith and a lot of knowledge of, like, having done what you've done for years, but then moving to the next stage, having your own place, is tricky. And outside of that, you then have to deal with corporate businesses. Some great, some lovely ones. Like, I'd like to highly recommend Streetcar. Loveliest people to deal with, really amazing and genuinely just good. And then you have the usual deal with banks, and I mean, we have a brewery, we're Brewery Tide, who they make it as hard for you as they possibly can.